So today we're going to talk about under the sea food chains. You have an activity in your pack that talks about this. So what we're going to talk about is the food chains. That's how the animals get their food, okay? At the end of this, you will be able to talk about some sources of food. That means, where do we get the food from? We're going to talk a little bit more about herbivores and carnivores and omnivores. We already did that in koala class. Do you remember? And then we're going to put them in the right order, the living things in a food chain. Okay, it's very exciting. Would you like to learn it with me? Okay, so sources of food. It means, where do we get our food from? So, how about you? Where do you get your food from? I don't mean Eon or Lucky Supermarket. I mean, what type of things are we eating and drinking that give us energy? Can you name some of them for me? What do you eat? Tell me 3 things that you eat or drink. Yes? Good, okay. So that means that our source of food, it can be meat, it can be fruit and vegetables, juices, fruit juices, water, milk, okay? Rice, grain, cereal, these are all sources of food for us. Okay, and all living things need it. All plants and all animals, they all need something to give them energy, okay? Their food source. Okay, remember the plant, if we put the seed into the garden, it's not gonna grow if it doesn't have all the different things like the sunlight, the water, the food, which we call nutrient or nutrition. And the same with us. We're not gonna grow up to be big and strong without taking some food for our energy, okay? Okay, so let's talk more about sources of food. Okay, I just explained what sources means. So nutrition is about food, and we just said all living things, they need food to survive. You see, we can eat the octopus. That will give us nutrition. But how about the octopus? He needed to eat something before that so that he could be alive too. What do you think the octopus ate? Can you guess what octopuses eat? We'll talk about that one later, okay? How about green plants like seaweed? Can you see the seaweed over here? So yes, some of the sea creatures can eat the seaweed, herbivores. Do you remember? Carnivore eats meat, herbivore eats plants. Omnivore can eat both, okay? So plants, what do you think they eat? So they make their own food using the water and the sunlight and air. And then, of course, any of the nutrients that we put into the soil for them, okay? So plants are so amazing. They can put all those things together to create their own food. That's why trees and plants are so important to us also. They're all part of the life cycle, okay? Food gives us energy. That's our power. That's how our body can work. We need power to make everything in our body work. Our lungs so that we can breathe, our muscles and bones so we can move around, our heart to keep us living, and especially our brain to keep us thinking and doing all of our actions. If we don't have the right type of food, we're not going to be able to do very much at all, and all of the things that we do won't be good. Okay, we've got to eat very well to make our body work very well. Okay, so animals can't make their own food. It means that you cannot see an octopus in a kitchen chopping up something and making it like a plant can. So what do they need to do? How do animals get their food? Do they order it from a restaurant? Does chef in the combi kitchen make it for them? Nope. Okay, so let's look at how they get their food. So some animals get their food from eating plants, like seaweed. So what do you think that type of animal is called? The ones that eat plants and leaves? That's right, it's a herbivore. And can you think of any more herbivores? What's the very tall animal that lives on the land and eats the leaves right from the top of the tree? That's a giraffe. Okay. So yeah, they're herbivores that can live under the sea. These types. So fish are herbivores. These fish are herbivores. They eat plants. And do you know what this is? Do you remember? Do you remember what it's called? It's a funny looking animal. It's a dugong. And we have another similar one, manatee. Okay, so they are herbivores. And then there's other animals that live under the sea and they get their food from eating other animals. So what are they called? They're not herbivores, they are carnivores. Can you think of some carnivores? How about lion and tiger and cat, dog? Carnivores, they like to eat meat. Under the sea, here are some carnivores. Seal, shark. What else can you see here? These are carnivores too. Wow, the pufferfish and seahorse are carnivores. The whale and the dolphin and the jellyfish carnivores too. And then, what's the third type? Carnivore, herbivore, and omnivore. So omnivore can eat both. So omnivores, they can eat both plants and animals. Okay, and these are some omnivores. Sea turtle, shrimp, crab, and otter. Like otter class. Okay, so let's talk about the food chain. A food chain is how each animal gets their food. So they say it shows what we can depend on to get our food and stay alive. Depend on means what we need, okay? So if you have a look at the arrows that I'm going to show you, it means it's eaten by. And then we get energy from it, okay? So the shell is eating the plankton. That means the plankton is giving energy to the shell. And the starfish is eating from the shell or the scallop. It means it's transferring its energy to the starfish. It's getting the energy from here. So the energy is flowing this way. This one is eating this one is eating that one, but the energy is flowing like this. Okay? So in the sea, the food chain always starts with the green plants because they can make their own power. Okay? It's called producer. And then all the animals are consumers. Consume means take or eat. Because we are eating something that already ate the plant. Okay? So, what about the animals that eat the other animals? Do you remember that word that we learned when we were looking at especially the lions and the tigers and the wild animals? We called them predators. So animals that eat the other animals, they are called a predator. And then the animal that they ate is the prey. Okay, it's called the prey. Predator and prey. So, the predator, this guy, this seal or sea lion, is gonna eat this fish. So he's the predator and this guy is his prey, okay? So all the habitats in the world have a food chain. So do you remember what animal habitat means? There's many of them. So in the ocean is one habitat. We have the jungle, we have the desert, We have rainforest, okay? They are all habitat, different types of houses or different types of places for different animals, okay? And they all have their own food chain or life cycle. Okay, so even in the rainforest, you'll find there's small plants, and then there's insects, and then there's birds, and then there's animals, okay? They all rely on each other. That means they all need each other. That's why we have to be so careful with the environment, because if we hurt something, it's gonna hurt something else. If we take all the flowers from the forest, then how about the animal that used to eat the flowers? He's got no food. Then he will die. And then what about the bigger animal that used to eat the small animal? He's got nothing to eat too. And then also, how about us? Maybe that animal helps us in the environment too, and it's gone. Then how about people? What if all the trees are gone? We need trees too. We need trees for oxygen and breathing and cleaning the air. So we have to be very careful with everything we do, because if we hurt something, it's gonna hurt something else. Okay? We had a look at a food cycle before in our worksheet. Here's another food chain. Can you look at it? So, here's a bigger one. Here's the sea plant. The fish will eat it, and the energy will go to the fish. The sea lion is going to eat the fish, and then the energy will go to the sea lion. And then the shark's going to eat the sea lion, and the energy will go to him. How about people? The shrimp, it ate the plant, so the energy has gone into the shrimp now. And then the person is going to eat the shrimp. The energy has gone into the person now. Now you've got power to be big and strong. And some people, they don't want to eat the animals. They love animals and they don't want to hurt them. So you can skip it. You can get your energy from plants and vegetables, fruit. Okay? So don't think you have to eat meat or seafood, all those sorts of things. You can also get energy from fruit and vegetables. They are very good source of energy also. Okay? But if mommy and daddy ask you to eat the meat, you eat it, okay? It's good for you. Okay. Teacher Ellie gave you a worksheet for you to practice, okay? So, you can have a look at all the different sea creatures and then try to work out the food chain, okay? I hope you understand this. It's a new idea for you, so it might be a little bit difficult at first, but if we talk about it more and more, soon you'll really understand it, and it's so interesting. Okay? Thank you for listening to me, and don't forget to send me a video. Okay? Bye guys.